Page 119, Ocean Waves. Oh, we got a lot going on here, so hold on to your hats, fasten your seat belts. On page 118, they're talking major and minor chords, which means we're talking major and minor intervals, which means we're talking stuff here. So let's just try and make some sense out of this. We've already had whole steps and half steps, and I already told you they come in handy because we can rely on half steps to build whatever we need. Well, we have different flavors of intervals. I already told you about a second. We have a second here, a second here. It's two different flavors of second. Well, this one is called a minor second, and that one is called a major second. Okay. Well, we can have major, minor, and other intervals also. For instance, a third. Remember an interval of a third? 1, 2, 3. It's every other note. It's a third. Well, there are different flavors of thirds. We got major and minor thirds. A major third is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 half steps. So I can start on any note. And if I go up 4 half steps, I get a major third. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, a half step is the next note up. It's a major third. You might not know what it is, but it is a major third. So a major third, well, a minor third is just 3 half steps. It's 1 half step less. So I just reduce it by 1 half step. I go down. I can move the top note down, or I can move the bottom note up. Either one, doesn't matter. So I got major thirds and minor thirds. Now, not all intervals are major and minor. Don't start thinking, okay, I got this fifth and I got a major fifth and that. No, it doesn't work that way. Sorry, that's too simple. But we're talking thirds here. Remember, our harmonic system is built on thirds. That's why we're talking thirds. Well, if I have a chord, it's 2 thirds. It's 2 intervals of a third. It's a third here and a third here. Together is the triad. Now, let's go a little bit further. This chord, C chord, is called a major chord. A major, C major is what we would call it. And it means that you have a major third and a minor third stacked on each other. So it's 4 half steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here we don't count, the note we're on isn't 1. We're not counting intervals here. We're doing a half step. That's a half step. So it's like you go up 1, that's a half step. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, here it's half step, half step, half step, or 1, 2, 3. It's 3 half steps. It's a minor third. So I got a major third and a minor third. Together, it makes a major chord. Here it is a C major. 1 chord. The 1 chord in any major key is always a major chord. In fact, the primary chords of any major key are all major chords. So the 1 chord is a major, the 4 chord is a major, the F chord, and the G chord is a major chord, a G major, F major, C major. Primary keys in C major. Now, the C major chord is always a major chord no matter what the key signature is. And an F chord here, this is always an F major chord. It doesn't matter what key you're in. It's always an F major chord. And this is always a G major chord. Always. It's just in referring to a key like C major, the primary chords, the 1, 4, and the 5, or 5, 7, are all major chords. It's quite a bit, but you kind of get the grasp of it over time. Just understand that the difference between the major chord and the minor chord is the middle note. I gotta flip the thirds because major is a major third and minor third, and a minor chord is a minor third and a major third. I just switched them. So major, minor, but I switch them, I take the middle note and just take it down a half step. Now I got a minor third and a major third. It's a minor chord. Now I will mention, you see it there sort of in the middle, down toward the bottom middle, on page 118. When we write about C major or minor or whatever, we usually capitalize major and we use a lowercase for minor. Typical. Don't know that you absolutely have to, but typically that's the way it is. And normally when we refer to a chord, if it's a major chord, we don't say major, we just say the chord. And the major is implied. So I could say it's a C chord, and it's implied that it's C major. But if it's anything else, I got to say what it is. So if it's a C minor, I got to include the word minor there. Or you'll think it's a major. Oh. You'll get it. So a C major, C minor, just lower the middle note. F major, F minor, lower the middle note. G major, G minor, lower the middle note. That's all. Well, ocean waves are using all these major and minor. You see that the first measure is all white keys. And the second measure, we've lowered the middle note. C minor, C major, C minor, and then the block chords at the end, C major, C minor, C major, and the second line is F major, F minor, F, A flats. I just lowered the middle note. Then the third line is G major and G minor. That's all it is. So eventually it'll start making sense and you'll use it more and more and more. So you may need to come back here and review this lesson a little bit. As far as ocean waves go, we pretty much already talked about it. It's 4 lines long, treble and bass clef. There's no sharps or flats. Basically it's in C major, but we're kind of going to these other keys also, but we're using accidentals to do it. That's okay. And then you got the eighth notes and then the chords at the end. Okay. And as far as the hands go, they're playing the same notes, different fingers. And then the chords, just make sure you get all 6 notes down at the same time. And then you lift up and come up, or down, or wherever you're moving to, and you do it again. You're moving the hands, and there's no rest, and you're moving both hands at the same time, so you may have to practice that. And then the first line you're here, you got to go to here. So you may have to practice that. Both hands together. At the end of the second line you're here, you're just going up 1 key there. That's not so bad. But at the end of the third line you're here, you got to go all the way down to here. So you may have to practice these hand moves because the beat needs to be a steady beat. You're just cutting the last note of the line a little bit short, so you got time to get down there. Dynamics, well, they're suggesting the dynamics. That's fine. You're going to crescendo. You see the hairpins, the matching? It's called a swell. We swell up and back down. So as you go up, you're getting louder and back down. Like that. All right. You can put that in. You moderately soft or moderately loud or louder, whatever. It's good practice. As far as the speed goes, it doesn't matter. This is kind of a technique thing. It's a good warm-up piece. If you're looking for a warm-up piece every day and scales aren't doing it for you, still do the scale, whether it does it for you or not. But this is something that you can just memorize and play over and over and over as you're going through the rest of the book. Let's try it together just to check the notes. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, and go, and. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. 4.